So what is it like to have the leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition, Erin O'Toole, try to seduce you in public? Let's speak to Jerry Dias. He's the president of Unifor, and that's what happened a few weeks ago. Erin O'Toole gave a speech. He said he wants you to vote for him in the next election, the Conservatives. Now, don't laugh.
Well, it's funny because when Erin O'Toole kicked off his campaign in Hamilton, he said he was going to be Jerry Dias's worst nightmare. And of course,
well, you've obviously changed his mind.
And of course, my response was he wouldn't even make my top 1,000. So it's quite comical that he's trying to seduce union members, and here's why it's funny. Because he wants you to believe that everything he has stood for his whole life was all bullshit. But what he's talking about today is the new me.
Well, maybe there's something to that. I mean, conservative leaders in England all the time are changing the party. They're attracting labor. You're not doing anything with the NDP. How do you get any power, any leverage with the NDP?
Look, it's not about the NDP. The reality is O'Toole is venturing in a bad way. He's not going to go anywhere because, look.
You're a negotiator. You always sit down head to head with people. Sit down with O'Toole, make a deal.
No, there's no deal to be made because here's why. The bottom line is you got to look at his record. Listen to what he's saying. He talks about being tough with China, but there was no bigger wimp than China than Erin O'Toole when he was the parliamentary secretary. He did the trade to allow Chinese investors into Canada, allows them to sue Canada. So everything that he has did is, hold on here, let me finish. You asked me the question, I'm going to finish it. Next, he talks about trade. He was the parliamentary secretary that carved the deal on Korea. He stood up in the House and said, this is the best deal for auto workers. Well, guess what? In the 6 years since the Korea deal, it's gone from a $2.8 billion deficit in auto to a $3.9 billion deficit today. So was he lying then or today? When?
What about your membership? Oshawa used to be always NDP. Now they go Conservative because your membership has done so well out there, aside from the turn down. But I mean, they own their homes, their cottages, and they vote Conservative.
No, that's a hodgepodge. We have Jennifer French, who's NDP in Oshawa. So there's still bastions of NDP around the Durham region, but there's no question about it. If you go to the north, Jim Flaherty's old riding. You've got Colin Carey. The Oshawa plant is in his riding. He's a Conservative. Of course, Erin O'Toole is on the outside. But the bottom line is that it's not just the auto industry in the Durham region. There's a lot of other industries as well. But I will still argue that working class people are anti-conservative because they know the Conservatives have not done one damn thing for them.
So you can't change their mind. You can't make a deal and say, we'll support you in this election. You become prime minister. Here's what we want.
Look, the bottom line is we have no choice. We will work with whoever's elected. But ultimately, will he ever be a bastion for workers? The answer is no, of course not. Let's not get fooled. Everything that he has done, he was the champion, voted with Harper on 377, 525, the two major anti-union bills. So guess what? I know who Erin O'Toole is.
Jerry Dias, he knows his man. 3 minutes, thanks very much. The numbers are in. And it's obvious that more and more people are watching this show because you are getting the precise and concise news that you would not get on the mainstream media. And in the meantime, I guess we're cheesing a few people off. That's clear from the fact that Randy Hillier, MPP, was censored. You can see my views on that on StephenLeDrew.ca. So we have to keep this going. We started it as a project. We are running out of money. If you know someone who wants to advertise or to sponsor this, please fill in the form because we are determined to keep this news on the air for you.